A challenge that many creators face is how to get your content noticed. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take advantage of the massive opportunities out there to get your content recognized and build your audience. If you want to see more videos like this one helping you grow an online knowledge business, please click like and subscribe below. Hey everyone, I'm Brian McAnulty, the founder of Heights Platform, the online course creation software helping you monetize your knowledge and get your customers results. So to start, there are more opportunities than ever now for content creators to make a living doing what they enjoy. And don't give up, don't stop creating, don't worry about those people telling you, oh, well, YouTube is too saturated, oh, this platform is too saturated. There are still so many opportunities for creators, and new opportunities are coming all the time. So when creating your content, this might sound a little bit harsh, but think about for a second, are you the definitive source for the type of content that you're creating? Are you the one creating the most content about that particular topic? Are you the one creating the best quality content about that particular topic? And if you can't really confidently answer yes to those questions, then don't give up, don't stop creating, because you do have the opportunity to get to that point. But we live in a time now where the algorithms for Google and YouTube and everything like that, for the most part, they're pretty good at how they work, and they do reward creators for creating what is really the best content or the biggest amount of helpful content around a certain area. And what happens is a lot of creators will go into this idea of saying, well, I'm going to start producing content. And they get discouraged when that first video, that first blog post, that first product, or whatever they release doesn't really become viral like they assume that it might be. So sticking with something after you get started is hugely underestimated. Because if you go back and you think about that piece of content that you launched, that it didn't quite go as planned, maybe you weren't anticipating it to go viral, but still, even then, even with whatever you were anticipating, it kind of flopped. So if you look at that compared to someone else in your space, maybe they're a competitor, maybe they're just someone creating something similar to you, do you really consider for your content, should you really be the definitive source? Do you deserve to show up beyond that other creator or that other business for the content that you created? And now when I say this, I don't mean that particular single piece, because it takes time, of course. Generally, the algorithms for most platforms nowadays are pretty fair in that if you really are the best source, you will become the thing that shows up in searches, that shows up and that people share and everything like that. So if you look at other creators, most likely they're going to have more content than you, and maybe they have better quality content than you. Maybe that one particular piece of content that you have is better quality, but when I say deserve, I don't really mean that one singular piece of content, because it takes time. It's usually, if you were Google, imagine that you're Google, okay? Imagine that you are this search engine algorithm, and somebody puts out one really great thing. Now, you can tell maybe that's pretty good, but should you really rank them higher than someone else who's putting out, in general, really great things all the time? So think about the other brands and the other creators that you know and enjoy. How often are they putting out content? And the chances are, if you think about it, they're putting out content really frequently. And there's a lot of ways you can do this. You can do this by creating some kind of piece of content. Let's say you make a video, like I'm making this video here now. Later on, you can take clips and snippets of that and post that onto social media and things like that. Turn that video into a blog post that you describe about later. And there's lots of ways that you can repurpose your content to have it show up to people in different mediums. But if you think about, in general, the creators that you probably follow, the businesses and brands that you probably follow, most likely there's new content from them coming out every single week, if not every single day. So I have two more tips to share about this, but a big part of my motivation in creating my business is seeing all of these opportunities out there for creators being missed because of this lack of understanding or lack of education, lack of ability to have the resources or the vehicle that they need to be able to grow their business. So with our business, Heights Platform, we are this online course creation software that we want to give creators the tools to build the content that they need to turn their knowledge into a business. So this first content strategy is to consider, are you the definitive source for the type of content that you're creating? Now, you might be someone who you are a YouTuber, you are a live streamer, something like this, where you really consider yourself to be a content creator. So you're already on the right track. But what if you're someone who is a little bit more introverted and you really enjoy the thing that you're creating, but building the content around that doesn't really, it's not something that comes as second nature to you. So if that's the case, I made a whole nother video about how to find the motivation to create content, even if that's something that doesn't really feel natural. And if you want to check that out, I put a link in the description so you can find that as well. But for tip number 2 here is you want to treat your content creation like a business. If you look at the most popular creators out there, even creators like Mr. Beast here on YouTube, the content that someone like him creates, it might be purely for entertainment. It might not really be like a business focused content or about a specific topic that he's trying to train people about. It's purely entertainment, but a significant amount of thought and research still goes into that. In fact, I saw a video recently that he said in an interview that he spends $500,000 or something like that on each of his videos. And he has a whole team at this point helping to figure out, well, how can they make the most entertaining video possible? So even with a subject or a niche like that, where it's just general entertainment and not about a specific topic, not about how to learn how to do something or anything like that, there's still tons of thought and research going into it. So as a creator yourself, the next time you're going to make some kind of specific piece of content, think about what is the goal of that content? What are people going to be searching for when they're looking for something like that? Are people going to be searching for that kind of content? Is that content better, let's say, as a suggested type content on YouTube? So if you're making content for YouTube, let's say you want to make this content and you're thinking about, well, other people are probably going to search for this term. And if they do, then that might work well for what I'm trying to talk about in this content. Or maybe it's not something they search for, but if they see a headline and a title about what you're talking about, it would be really interesting to them and they want to click on it. So these are things that you should think about before you go and create that content. Who's actually looking for that content and what value is it going to provide the person to actually consume that content from you? And there is a domino effect here when it comes to the content that you create. So it is an investment to make the effort to go and create these different types of content and to consistently do that and continue doing that over time. But the benefit of that is content you create is something that it only takes that one-time investment, and over time it will pay you back because more and more people could potentially see it. And it's like a snowball or this domino effect where once you start getting viewers, once you start getting subscribers, once you start getting some kind of attention to your content, then it can exponentially increase from there. So even though it feels like a lot of work in the beginning, in the long term, if you're consistent with it, if you're creating quality content and becoming this definitive source in your particular niche, then it will pay off. And every single piece of content you create in the future will only get you more viewers. Now, the third tip is, where is your audience? So when you think about your particular niche, where is your audience hanging out? Is that where you're creating the content right now? So if all of your audience is on one particular platform, but you're creating content on a different platform, then it's going to be hard to attract your audience to that particular platform. And when you're interacting with your audience, are you treating your audience like a community with your content? Or are you just kind of shouting, hey, look at me with your content? This is something that a lot of creators make the mistake of. If you look at a lot of people's like Twitter profiles, their Facebook pages, even their Instagrams, it's just saying, hey, this is my thing. This is what I made. But they're not really talking with their audience. They're just shouting to their audience. So is that something you're doing? Is that something you can improve with? Are you building any kind of partnerships with others in your space? So you don't have to think of everybody in your space as a competitor to you, because likely if you have a similar audience to somebody else in your space, there is potential for you to have some kind of collaboration with them. And that's something that can benefit both of you and get both of you more viewers. So you want to get involved and connected with the community and the niche around your particular topic that your business or your content creation is based around. You don't want to be shouting at that community. You want to be talking with that community. There's so many more ways that you could be promoting yourself online. And if you want to learn all about those, we wrote a big guide all about the different ways to promote your business online, both free and paid. And that you can find on our blog. So I'm going to link that in our description here as well. But if you have anything particularly that has worked well for you as a creator when you're building content, please share that with us in the comments. We'd love to hear more about it. So the next time that you go and create a piece of content, think about these three things. Number one, are you the definitive source for that type of content that you create? So is that content really going to be the ultimate source for what it is? Number two, what value is it going to bring to your audience? And who is your audience? Who is looking for that piece of content? And number three, are you not only talking to your audience, but actually talking with your audience? So what can you do with the content that you're creating to actually be engaging with your audience more and not only shouting at them? I hope this gave you something helpful to think about the next time that you're creating content. And again, if you have any other ideas or things that worked well for you as a creator, please share that with us in the comments. And if you want to see more videos like this helping you grow your business, check out this next video.